Stop scrolling. Good morning and welcome to Morning Rush on Fourth and Fantasy. Before you lock in a single player, you have to talk to us first. We're live, ready to dive into the Sunday chaos and answer your specific start and sit questions. Let's perfect your lineup and before the start kickoff, let's go.
Yeah, I don't follow no script. I make my own lane, got a spreadsheet mind and a red rash brain. Dynasty beats got that tape in my veins while they drafting by names. I'm exposing their game, no cap. We study the craft like film room rats. Gyms in the fourth while they stuck in the past. It's levels to the dynasty, keep or flex. From rookies to pros, we demanding respect, that's real. And I ain't never need clout for my clout to show. Just a mic I take and a team I grow. This ain't just picks, it's principle G. It's fourth and fantasy where you build your legacy. We 10 toes down, yeah, we stand.
And we are back at it again. Stop playing with the sports fantasy. Hope y'all doing well and Danny this Sunday morning, wherever you're watching us, in your bedroom, in the bathroom, or on the toilet. We're here to bring the vibes. I'm Honcho, and this is my guy.
Siriaco, call me Rocco. Sorry for that that accidental button push of the promotable. We'll get to that later.
Yeah. And
Too early.
And we are your fantasy playbook to more championship wins. And specifically this week, a week 7 win, if you will. And Rocco, where are we the land of?
We are a fantasy football podcast for Dynasty Sickos by Dynasty Sickos. Let's get some lineups set.
Let's get some lineups there. And we already have some wonderful people in the chat. G Roach, good morning to you, player. Hope you're doing good today. Hope you're feeling nice and right and ready to get some W's today. Our boy, Damian Dillard, welcome back to the show. Good morning to you, Judkins or Jordan Mason at Flex for full PPR. Well, actually, let me get Jordan Mason today. He has, if I'm looking at this lineup correctly, which I'm not actually. Oh, Minnesota,
correct?
You got Philadelphia, right? And then Jordan and Judkins, they go against the Miami Dolphins. Toss Judkins in there, my boy. I'm going strictly Judkins here. Not to say Jordan Mason won't have a good game, as the Philadelphia Eagles have been the last 2 weeks, but Miami Dolphins have been even more basura. So I'll feel better going Quishon Judkins there in a flex full PPR. How about you, Rocco? What side are you going on this one?
I think the Dolphins have given up like an incredible amount of rushing yards in the last couple weeks. They started off the Rico Dowdle party by giving up 200 to him, and then they came right back. Just trying to pull it up. It's a little early, so I'm a little dusty and rusty right now. They came right back and gave up a career game to Kamani Vidal and helped him completely break out. So, yeah, it's going to be rainy out there. So that kind of favors the running game. So, I can see 150 yards today for Quinshon Judkins. Jordan Mason, hopefully you sold those Jordan Mason shares because Aaron Jones should be getting close to returning. So if he is on your waivers and redraft, you might want to take a look at him. I got him on my watch list right now because in one of my few redraft leagues, he's just sitting out there, and I know nobody remembers that he's still there. But I'm keeping an eye out for him. But yeah, this is a Judkins smash spot. I don't see how it's not, because I think they're going to lean on the run game. And I don't think they'll have much downfield passing attack. Even without the weather conditions, they're not a downfield passing attack. So probably the only people I would trust in this matchup would be Judkins and possibly Harold Fannin Jr., who's going to be like the number one option on the team with David Njoku out.
Yeah, you hit the other guy on the head. For me, that I would keep an eye on this game, which would have been Harold Fannin Jr., since David Njoku has been ruled out of the game. And then just the other guys haven't really got me going. I am actually still a little bit sad of whether it's, and I don't think it's been a QB thing, because we just saw Joe Flacco rip the Steelers apart on Thursday night. But Jerry Judy just has been I throw him in the same category as Calvin Ridley at this point, who talked
Mhm.
themselves up all off season and hasn't shown up for the fantasy managers, the dynasty sickos, if you will. Pissing me off, actually. Jerry Judy, I need you to show up, my boy. As we
Yeah, and
go,
one more point here. According to our Josh Larkey's matchup chart, it's about an even matchup for Jordan Mason, while Judkins is in a smash spot. And also remember that Jalen Carter should be back this week, plugging up the middle. So I don't have a lot of faith in Jordan Mason outscoring Judkins at all.
yeah. And then Damian said, I don't care if we lose to the Bears. Hey, the Bears been on a nice little solid streak the offense been kind of clicking and their defense is stepping up. I just need to put up a lot of points on Dennis Allen. Yeah.
Fuck that guy. Fuck Dennis Allen. I'm with you on that. Fuck that guy. I know. It's a revenge game. We might not be hearing it, but this is a revenge game from a lot of different angles. Because Caleb Williams took Spencer Rattler's job at Oklahoma, a few years back, and the whole Saints team, all of the holdovers from the Dennis Allen era hate Dennis Allen. You talk about a guy who threw those guys under the bus consistently, constantly. So I would love to see Kendre Miller pop out, and show a motherfucker, because nobody threw that man under the bus more than Dennis Allen did when he was there. So yeah, look for Kendre Miller to have a little extra sauce in his game today.
And then Damian also asks, is Tajay Spears a good stash in case Pollard gets traded, or am I wasting a spot? Honestly, I just saw someone during the week, and this is more in redraft. They picked up Tajay Spears this week. So I don't see Tony Pollard getting traded, though. There's no reason to trade him. But if they do, I mean, I'd be kind of wild on their end if you ask me, as they would literally be down to just Tajay Spears and their backup running backs who haven't really done anything to begin with. So now you're very much limiting yourself, and you're putting hope that Tajay Spears is going to remain healthy for the remainder of the season. I don't see that happening. If it does, cool, right? Things happen, but no, I think Tony Pollard stays on the Titans for at least this year. They don't trade him, and they keep going or trying to have that 1-2 punch there.
Yeah, I mean, I like Spears when he can stay on the field. He's an explosive pass catcher, and they don't have a lot of those there. So he's a good stash, and to hope that at some point the offense, turns it around. But I mean, you're talking about a league worst offense, so just keep that in mind when you're stashing a guy. I mean, there's no guarantee that situation will change at all in 2020 2025. I mean, what can change to make that offense better? I mean, yeah, they got rid of Callahan, so now they have a interim coach, but the offensive weapons aren't getting any better. There's no new weapons walking into that door. Maybe the line gets better over the season, and that would help. But Cam Ward needs to also get rid of the ball. So I don't know if that situation will get any better. But with stashes, I guess the question comes down to who else is out there. Who are you holding and letting sit out there, and potentially another team can pick up? That's the question. Are there better options out there?
Exactly. And while the start and sit questions come in, we'll do our dialogue. We'll go through the games. We'll keep an eye on the chat. But once again, good morning. Thank you for tuning in to the Morning Rush Show. Yes, it is going to be very windy. Exactly.
Yikes.
So yes, looking at the first game of the day, which is at 9:30. I think I'm not a hater of the 9:30 games. Cool for all the morning birds. This we're right up the lane, but at the same time, man, push that shit back, bro. Okay, but I do like the two Monday night games that they've been doing. Gives you a little more excitement to look forward towards Monday. But today's 9:30 game, Jacksonville Jaguars versus the LA, almost said, yeah, Los Angeles Rams. I particularly like this matchup just because of, well, I don't really have a lot of Puka Nakua shares. So if you do have him and he's not playing, I'm not worried about that. But you know who I have a lot of? Ha ha ha. Devontae Adams, baby. And I think he will do a great job filling in for that wide receiver one role for them. And we could also see a breakout game from Jordan Whittington. Weddington. Weddington. I think
Whittington.
Whittington. And I think, honestly, with Tutu Atwell also playing, still a solid wide receiver core, if you will, with Devontae Adams leading the charge. The Jacksonville Jaguars, and I mean, Lawrence has been Lawrence. Hopefully, ETN can, have a nice day. Travis Hunter has been getting absolutely this last week been getting critiqued for wanting to get baptized last Sunday before the game, which I think is a wild question to begin with. If he wants to get baptized, let the man get baptized. But what are you looking forward to, Rocco, for this Rams and Jaguars game?
I'm looking for Devontae Adams and Matthew Stafford to get on the same page. They've been close, and they've put up respectable numbers. Even while Puka was there. But Devontae Adams, let's not get it twisted. Devontae Adams, is going to be the guy this week. He's going to see 10 plus targets. And the Jaguars haven't been great, covering outside receivers. They're stronger in the slot where they just signed Jordan Lewis. It looks like he was a former
Cowboy in the
Cowboy.
slot. Yeah, here's the
Yeah,
slot.
yeah. They've been really tough on slot players so far. According to a chart that I've been kind of taking a look at. So I don't know if Whittington's the play this week. Unless they kind of move him around. So Devontae Adams is the guy. If you need him, by all means plug in Whittington. He can get there on targets. But yeah, without Puka, Adams is the guy. I want to see them get Ferguson on the field because he had that one awesome catch where he kind of leaped up, jumped up so high he had a he caught it in the bread basket instead of high pointing it, which he probably could have did if he would have just stayed on the ground. But that's neither here nor there. But get him onto the field. Get those Dusty Higbees out of here. He's not the greatest guy. You can Google it and see what he's done in his past. But get Ferguson in there. He's got a better vibe to him because they're gonna need another guy to step up in this game. Is I guess what I'm getting at, because I don't think Devontae Adams is going to be able to just do it on his own because the Jaguars do have a tough defense. That's been one of the strengths of their team because they have a winning record, and it's not because of Trevor Lawrence, because the defense has stepped up and their running game is pretty damn good to start the season. Outside of the last couple games, but to start the season, the run game's been great. The defense has been great, and Trevor Lawrence has been Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, they've been sparky. The Jaguars defense, I believe that has been their bread and butter for about several years now. And they also just traded for Greg Newsome from the Cleveland Browns corner and sent out Tyson Campbell. Go Dogs! So they're trying to make their passing coverage better. They're trying to get better on that end. But I still think Weddington has a good day because he'll be on the outside more. I think Tutu Atwell will be in the slot this week. But I am really excited just for the Matthew Stafford. I'm really excited for Devontae Adams. I need Devontae Adams to show up, show out, and do his thing, because I think what he is able to do is really good. And then looking at the other guys, and you hit it right on the head, I would like to see Ferguson get more involved today, as he is, I feel like, underutilized, and he could open up a whole new part of this offense in the seams down that middle, because he's athletic. Get Higbee out of there. Stop putting Allen out there. He's cool. He's a big guy, but he doesn't get the balls wet. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't get you know what I'm saying? He doesn't get your body flowing. You feel me?
Did you say he doesn't get the balls wet?
Nah, he doesn't. He doesn't get it. So I need, I need Ferguson I need Ferguson, not to be mistaken for Jake Ferguson, right?
No,
I
this guy's more talented.
Yeah, I digress. But
Turd Ferguson's
I digress.
unite.
But
His little brother is pretty damn good.
when I say with Jacksonville, you just want to see them get their wide receivers more involved. You want to see that they are able to Travis Hunter. I want to see Travis Hunter have. I don't think he will break out. And I might put words in my mouth or put my foot in my mouth at this point. But Travis Hunter, I would like to see them scheme more. It seems like Brian Thomas is starting to, peek out a little bit, starting to get the wheels churning. So hopefully for fantasy managers and just for fantasy in general, hopefully Brian Thomas Jr. can start getting a roll on, because it is very much needed. Now, the other game next is New Orleans Saints versus the Chicago Bears. This is a game that I'm very much tuned in on because of Mr. Caleb Williams and the game or the play that he's having the last few weeks. It seems like him and Ben Johnson are starting to mesh, starting to get the reels rolling again. And that running game last week, even though it was the Commanders, DeAndre Swift, 100 yards. Today we have DJ Moore. I know there was a little bit of a scare that he had the last game. He had to be rushed to the hospital, but it looks like he's in game to play. And then hopefully, right, I would like to see Luther Burton start to get a little bit more churn, a little bit more reps out there, because he has a very elite skill set of being able to start and stop, to be able to accelerate and decelerate throughout his routes and get going. So I would absolutely love to see him or get them going. Somebody who I'm very much still not on, because it's like he'll have a play, but then he'll disappear. Not because it might not even be his fault, but Loveland, as there's so many mouths to feed, and we already knew going into the season that it might be a problem, or when it comes to target share. But Loveland is like the stepchild that ain't getting no love. It's not fun. It's not great. I need to see who starts getting the target shares. And from G Roach, he says Rattler, Snake, or Fields. Rattlesnake. Oh, okay, I get it. Mr. Rattler himself. I like that nickname, man. Rattlesnake. Hold up. But I would say, because Justin Fields, he has the Carolina Panthers, who Dak Prescott just had a day against. Now, that is to say, Dak Prescott has most of his weapons last game. He didn't have CeeDee Lamb, but George Pickens was whooping ass last week. Jake Ferguson was doing the thing. We still ended up losing, but Dak Prescott had a nice fantasy day. Justin Fields is not going to have Garrett Wilson. So we're already down their number one wide receiver in that game. And we didn't like their wide receivers beginning before. So what does that mean? Maybe Arian Smith can step up. Probably won't. But go Dogs, though. I hope he can. It's not looking good for that wide receiver room. So if I'm leaning here, and you're going to put me in a tough spot, because Chicago Bears absolutely do have a really good defense. Justin Fields going against the Carolina Panthers. I might, if the New York Jets employ Justin Fields and use his wheels, use his legs to get the game going, I would lean towards Justin Fields. But I might have to go, if you are new to the show, if you're a new income a new viewer, I've been a very big Spencer Rattler fan. I was all throughout off season was saying he was going to win the QB1 job. So I lean towards Spencer Rattler here, or Rattlesnake. I can't now. I'm not gonna be able to unsee that now, Mr. Rattlesnake, and that's mine. How about you, Rocco, for that one?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of go narrative based. I mean, he does have a good matchup on paper. He's got a plus matchup against the Bears. Um, so that's a good matchup, and it's got sneaky shootout potential because the Saints defense is not great. And the Saints offensive players have a lot to prove against Dennis Allen. They're going to want to, if they can get some points on the board, this is the game where they're going to try to run up the score as much as possible. And like you said, Fields has no weapons. The only way he gets there is with his legs. And I'm sure the Carolina Pandas will be ready for that. Um, I mean, they're talking about even Reynolds might be out. So, I mean, Arian Smith, unless he's
Oh,
him, like literally him, he has nothing. I mean, he's going to have, uh, Mason Taylor is going to be his number one option in the passing attack. And he's played good. I give him a lot of credit. He's
yeah,
better than I thought he was.
yeah.
He's a lot of that's coming, via garbage time and the lack of other weapons around him, but he's still producing, so I give him credit there. But just look at last week. Justin Fields had a historically bad game with Garrett Wilson in there, so it just kind of shows you if they play, decent defenses that can account for Garrett Wilson and Mason Taylor. I mean, there's not much else unless they can get that running game really going. I have no hope of them like really, making a dent. Even on the Pandas, who played better, in the last few weeks than they started out this season. I have a writing question. Now that we answered that question, from the one and only wifey, who has a kind of a bit of a conundrum this week because she's got Puka out, and it looks like Egbuka is probably out as well. Um, you're on the fence about that, but I really don't trust it. Um, but she needs to start two between her flex position. She's got Bill Krosky Merritt. She has Scattaboo, and she has Chris Olave. Start two. Oh, and I also shout out. She did a half marathon yesterday. For people that don't know, that's 13 miles. 13 miles. The furthest I ever went was 8. That's an additional 5 more for the math impaired. So that's just crazy. You know, I didn't do it because my back locks up after about 8, and I would be just fucking useless for the rest of the week. But she went 13 miles with her good friend and Emmy award-winning friend yesterday. So shout out to her. But what do you think about that dichotomy? Bill, Scattaboo, or Olave? Which one of those are you sitting?
I'm probably going to sit Scatterboo against the Denver Broncos defense. I like Chris Olave. That might be hard. I might say Chris Olave, honestly. But if in a tough situation, I feel like in Kim Scatterboo, and maybe he wants to bounce back from last week because he was one of the reasons why the Giants lost. Or was it 2 weeks ago where he fumbled? Nevertheless,
No, no. Scatterboo had 3 touchdowns last week. I will not. We will not. We will not take any bad talk about Scatterboo. He had 3 touchdowns against the Philadelphia Eagles and took their soul and ended their season on Thursday Night Football.
oh yes, he did. Thank you. Yes, it was 2 weeks ago that he faced the Saints and he fumbled. Correct. All right.
Yeah.
So it was yes for that one. I won't say Cam Scatterbo. I think with that, and mind you, Jalen Carter wasn't playing that game. Just to throw that as an advocate, as a to have context. But I would probably go Bill Cross. Now I wouldn't even go Bill Krosky at this point because yes, they are playing the Dallas Cowboys defense, but they have no wide receivers. So Dallas really just has to hone in on the run game to keep him locked in. I'm still starting him because I need to start him in a couple places, but I would go Bill Bill Cross. Honestly, never mind. I take that back. I wouldn't even go Bill Crosby. I'll go Scatterbo and I'll go Chris Olave here. Those are my picks.
I will say, according to this heat map I got right here, um, Bill has the best matchup, the second best matchup on the week, next to the New England Tennessee matchup for Ram and Trevion Henderson. But also, if there's any weakness in the Denver defense, it looks like it would be in the run defense. So the run defense could be where the Giants try to make some hay, because they have one of the best secondaries in the league. So, um, but all that being said, I don't know if I trust the Giants offense, because as we said with the Jets, when you lack weapons, the defense could really hone in on the weapons that you do have. So like the Carolina Panthers can hone in on a Mason Taylor, probably a Brees Hall, and Justin Fields running ability. When you don't have a bunch of options, it makes it easy on the defense. So if Scatterboo is going to have a rough game, this would be it. So I think, I hate to do it because he's like one of my favorite new players in the entire league, but I feel like Olave is going to get the targets. He hasn't played great by any means, but he will get targets. So that he has a floor of at least 10 points, because he's going to get damn near 10 targets today. Scatterboo worries me. Bill has the best matchup on the week. Sit Scatterboo. Sorry, my man. If you come out and prove me wrong, you will never park on the bench ever again. And I'm starting Scatterboo in every league I'm in, because I have deep lineup requirements. So he's got to go in. But in a shorter lineup league where you have other good options, sorry, my man. This is the week.
Sounds good. And now we have AR Got Him. Good morning to you, and welcome to the show. Wherever you're viewing us, on your bed, in your bedroom, in your living room, or on the toilet. He adds flex Dowdle or
Taking a
Quentin
dump.
Johnson in a half PPR. I would well, from what the Carolina Panthers have said, they are looking at a balanced attack today between Dowdle and Chuba, since he is back this week. And all that means to me is they're going to see who has the hot hand. If Chuba looks good, then next week he'll probably have more of the carries. If Dowdle looks good, he'll probably have more of the touches in the offense. So Quentin Johnson is going against the Indianapolis Colts, and then the Panthers, as we said, are going against the New York Jets, who got ran all the way through by the Dallas Cowboys when Javonte Williams just obliterated that whole game. I'm probably going Dowdle here. I have to go Dowdle here, as that Jets running defense is not good. And mind you, we only had one starter that game against the New York Jets. Whooped ass. So I would lean towards Dowdle here. How about you, Rocco?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. Do you remember what the? Oh, that was a hamstring injury that kept him out last week. Feet to flame. I think I'm gonna sit Quentin Johnston. I don't trust those hammy injuries, and it looks like, I guess it was a low severity if he's only been out 1 week. But on the other hand, you got to ride the hot hand with Rico Dowdle. People saw Rico, explode for 200 yards against the, what was it, whoever it was. He exploded for 200 yards. Oh, the Dolphins. He exploded for 200 yards against the league worst rushing defense, Dolphins, and they were like, "No way, he does it again." Come right back to the Cowboys and did it the very next week. And the Jets, while you would associate them with having a good defense over the years, that just hasn't been the case this year. That defense has completely imploded, and they're gonna have a hard time scoring points today with no offensive weapons. So I can see them leaning. I can see the Pandas leaning on Rico Dowdle early and often, and I think that Chuba's gonna mix in. He's gonna have a role, but I think Dowdle is gonna have, he's gonna have the keys to the castle because, he completely changed the outlook for that team. That team was, looked like one of the worst teams in the league, and he comes back and he comes out and gets 200 yards back to back weeks, and they win both of these games. So I think they're gonna have to keep riding with what's winning them games. So look for maybe Chuba to may have more of a role in the passing game. But as far as who's going to get, a majority of the carries, I think it's going to be 65% Rico all day. Uncle Rico for the win.
And if you are here, make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you have not yet, we appreciate all the support that we get. We love the community. We love all the questions that you guys send in. So appreciate you all tapping in with us at 8:33 in the morning, 7:33 in Central Time. And if it's Pacific Time, take your ass back to bed, my boy. I don't know what you.
No, hang out with us. Hang out with us.
Just playing.
You insomniac.
Yeah.
If you're on Pacific Time, I think you just pulled an all-nighter. So respect.
Respect to you. KJ, good morning to you. And what's up, my G? Better RB2 start Rico or Jordan Mason? And should I throw Mike Evans in my flex in hopes he plays on Monday? He is playing. Mike Evans is playing. He is projected to play. Now, with Emeka Ibuka looking like a game time decision, which I think he ultimately plays as well. But Chris Godwin is 100% looking like he's going to be out. Looks like they rushed him back a little bit too quickly. This could be the day, and I don't think they're going to throw an entire workload towards him. So shout out to Tez Johnson, as I have him in a lot of places. But back to your question, though, a better RB2 start would be for me, Rico here. I'm going to Rico's side. Sure, Jordan Mason is cool, but he's also had fumbling issues. And that's something that coaches will eventually get tired of. And Rico Dowdle, how do you sit somebody? And yes, I do love me some Chuba. I have him starting this week as well. But how do you sit Rico when he's gone over 150 yards the last 2 weeks? Right? So I like Rico here, and they're not going to rush Chuba back into a crazy workload. That would be kind of crazy, as you want him to be good for the rest of the season. So I lean towards Rico here, but don't feel scared throwing Mike Evans in your flex because he will definitely play. How about you, Rocco?
Yeah, I think. Okay, I was trying to make sure that Mike Evans wasn't like also a choice. No, Mike Evans in the flex, and it's Rico or Mason at RB2. Yeah, I'm rolling with Rico. I'm rolling with the uncle. I'm rolling with Uncle Rico because for all the reasons we just mentioned, how do you sit a guy that's had 200 yards in back-to-back weeks? And Mason's cool. If you got the space and no better options, you can throw Mason in. He's gonna get most of the carries, and he's gonna be the goal line back. But also Philadelphia just lost 2 games. I want to say 2 games in a row. And they're getting Jalen Carter back, who's very disruptive on the interior of that defensive line. So, that's going to be a tough matchup for Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason ain't going to, fucking, teabag him like fucking Scattaboo did last week.
Right.
I just don't see that happening with Jalen Carter out there. So, a lot tougher matchup. So, yeah, Uncle Rico all the time. Until he proves you wrong, start Rico.
Start Rico. And then he also asked, I dropped Bam Knight in my Yahoo.
Bam!
So it's looking like redraft, and picked up Emmanuel Wilson. Was that a good move? If Jacobs does play him, I have a lot of Josh Jacobs too. And it seems like he is a very true game time decision, which has my eyes or my spidey senses going, I'm trying to figure that as well on my end. If Jacobs does play, Hendo, RJ Harvey, or Charbs, full PPR. Well, the Broncos are going against, if I'm looking at the schedule correctly, the New York Giants, whose defensive line has actually played very well these last couple of days or last couple of weeks. Hendo, though, it seems like he did something to the offensive coordinator, right? It seems like he did something that the team, or they just don't know how to use Hendo. The first touch he ever had in the preseason went for a tutty. So I'm not really sure. They're like, we need to figure out how to use him. Just toss his ass in there. Just do get him. No. Yeah, I believe they also said his pass blocking has been a little questionable. So as a rookie, that makes sense. And if you can't pass block, it makes it very hard for them to trust you on passing downs, which sounds like Ramondre does a little bit better than him. So he was dropping Bam Knight for Emmanuel Wilson a bad move. I say not, because it's a very likable situation where Jacobs does miss this game. But Bam seems like he is starting to tear into Michael Carter's snaps a little bit. He looked pretty decent. So I wouldn't say that it was bad, but if Jacobs, to answer your question, if Jacobs does play, I would probably lean. And it makes my heart hurt because I thought RJ Harvey was going to have a better season or be utilized a little bit more, but J.K. Dobbins has been a very good player this year. I would probably lean towards, because the New England Patriots go against the Tennessee Titans, go Hendo. What do you say, Rocco?
I wouldn't start any Cardinals today. Only because the Green Bay Packers have one of the league's best run defenses so far early in the season. So, I wouldn't start any Cardinals today. That game could get super ugly,
Quick.
unless Jacoby Brissett plays like he did last week, where he made that team a lot more functional than anybody anticipated, except for Matt Harmon with perception. He actually said, "Damn, I think Jacoby Brissett might run the offense better than Kyler Murray because he could actually see,
Yeah.
over the top of his offensive lineman, and it came to fruition in that first week. Don't let Jacoby Brissett come out and have another 300-yard games against a much tougher Green Bay defense. But to go with the question, you got three guys that are essentially backups. Charbs probably has the biggest role, but he should have the smallest role because he's been absolutely god awful with his 2.6 yards per carry. Just completely fucking over my man Kenneth Walker, giving him a lot of plays in the passing game, giving him the fucking goal line work. What are you doing,
What the fuck?
K Kubiak? I knew there was a reason we got rid of your fucking ass, but that's neither here nor there. What's the matchup for Harvey today? I'm just kind of looking at it here.
Denver, they have the New York Giants.
I feel like Harvey is the play here because I think Coach Sean Payton is going to try to draw up some plays to get those linebackers in coverage. So I think I'm going to roll Harvey, but for me it's either Hendo or Harvey, man. Not Charbs, never Charbs.
And AR has another question. He says Pittman or Quentin Johnston. Well, they're playing each other, or they're playing against their opposing teams this week. So I would probably lean towards a Michael Pittman here. And that's crazy for me to say because I've never really been the biggest advocate for Michael Pittman. But I think where Lad McConkey is starting to get more involved in the game, Kenan Allen been their saving grace. I'm going to lean towards a Pittman here. How about you, Rocco?
Josh Downs is out this week, so it's most definitely Pittman. Pittman's going to be he's not going to have any competition from Josh Downs, who has kind of glowed up lately. He finally had a really good game last week and was promptly concussed, so he's definitely out this week. He'll be back soon, but this could be very much so a Pittman week.
And as just a small note on that, I am so out on Josh Downs at this point, as the brother can't stay healthy. It seems like when he starts to get going, he gets his ass knocked right back out of the game. It's actually quite frustrating because I want him to be a very good player in this league, but availability is a very key part of being a good football player. Now, these injuries
It can
can't.
create. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Go
I
ahead.
didn't mean to
Go ahead.
cut you. No, he's been hurt, but he also has a very translatable skill for basically any team, which is he can get open, and he's kind of the right size, and he plays in the middle portions of the field. So I'm still stashing. But yeah, he needs to get his ass healthy. But concussion. I don't know what happened, but concussions happen to a lot of these guys. As long as he keeps those knees healthy, still in.
And shout out to our boy Jared from our Discord and also our Twitter.
What's up, brother?
What's good, G? Hope you having a wonderful start to your day, morning, my guy. We got Jonathan Santiago.
Where in the world are you?
If Jacob sits, who would you start? Charbonnet, Michael Carter, or Bam Knight? Well, I'm going, honestly, I like none of those fuckers that you just said. If I'm being quite honest, but I do have Michael Carter starting in several spots because I am very, very light at the running back position this year. I will lean towards Michael Carter because I think he does enough in the passing game to stay relevant. Absolutely like his skill set or what he's able to do. Bam Knight is going to be there, but I lean towards Michael Carter as they are looking at playing the Green Bay Packers. And you also said Charbonnet, who Seattle, they got the Houston Texans on Monday night. Going to be a very, very tough game against a great Houston Texans defense. And hopefully, if I remember correctly, from the offensive coordinator, they would like to get Kenneth Walker more touches. If you really, really have to, and these are your only guys, I lean towards Michael Carter. Makes me sick. I don't like none of these options we have here, but Michael Carter. How about you, Rocco?
Yeah, you're in a tough spot here. But I think I'm gonna have to go with Huncho, my co-host right here. Michael Carter is better at catching passes, so we could be some garbage time at some point in this game, unless Brissett is showing that he's actually much better than Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this should be a Michael Carter game because I think Bam Knight will have some trouble in between the tackles in this one. So yeah, with with a bunch of tough decisions, it's never Charbonnet. Go Carter in this one.
And I'm not really sure what to make of this comment or how to say your name to begin with, my G. But he says last NFL season I was watching on a screen by our TV. Register and enjoy the game. All right, and go enjoy the game. We appreciate you. Subscribe, like, share, and keep tuning in, my G. And
is that spam? Are you spamming us?
Yeah, are you spamming? Like I said, I don't know what to make of that comment, my G. Like, and you're very welcome.
That's neither a start nor a sit question. That's a watch this register this for this whatever. Thank you.
I don't know what that is, but hey, don't
like, share, and subscribe, but don't spam us, please.
And if you do, if you get a virus on your shit, we're not telling you to go do what he just said. Now, from what Jonathan, yeah, me either, but unfortunately Cook is on a bye. Yeah, brother. It's a lot. Once these buys start going and with the amount of injuries that are out, it gets a little scary in these streets. That's why you got to be a waiver wire warrior and try to get the maximum potential or upside guys that you can, because it can get ugly in these streets. But keep those start and sit questions coming in, and we got y'all. Bronco, let's look at some of these rest of these scheduled games for today. We talked a little about it, but the Miami Dolphins versus the Cleveland Browns at Cleveland. We don't like the wide receivers in these games. Cedric Tillman is still out. Jerry Judy hasn't been producing. And honestly, Dylan Gabriel is almost out. If they're calling for this man, he had a really bad game last week. And the fans are already looking at I bought subscription on. Oh, hold up. And I watched. Yeah. Hold on. Who are these? What if you are in work or just don't have TV around you. Okay. Sound you. And we're going to keep it moving. So, looking at this game, hopefully, this is if you have Jalen Waddle, he's a super start, I believe, here. If you have Darren Waller, I believe he's the start here. Devin A-Chain has been on the trade rumor mill, but from what McDaniel says, that's all bullshit. Don't listen to it. It's fake news. I think Devin, and if they were to trade Devin A-Chain, it just didn't make sense to me for them to do that to begin with. Even if they don't believe they're going somewhere, I don't believe what that is. So I believe coming out of this, Tua actually came out this week and apologized for continuously throwing his team under the bus. Don't know why you keep doing that, my G.
Fucking rat.
Right? Don't know why you keep throwing people under the bus. Right? Just when you go into these pressers, lie. That's literally all you got to do. Lie. Just, man, it was me. If it's all on me, I got to do better. Do that. No one wants a finger pointer. All right.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
You ain't got to lie to kick it, but if you want this NFL money, you do.
I'm telling you, man. And then looking at the Patriots game, which I have I have a fantasy football league with some good friends back at home. And how we do it, the person who scores the lowest points has to put in a $10 parlay of all of our picks throughout the week. So it'd be like a 10 leg parlay that they had to put in. Just they only got to put in $10. And one of the picks that were in it was a Drake May passing yards, which I think he's going to have a really solid day. Tennessee Titans haven't looked good, but maybe they have a different tune where Brian Callahan being fired. What do you see coming from this game? Hopefully Stephon Diggs has a nice week. Hopefully they get Hendo going. Hunter Henry is always an underrated tight end for the week against the Tennessee Titans. I don't see this being a high-scoring game to begin with, but you never know. What are you expecting out of this game, Rocco?
Oh man, I think they should. I think the Patriots should go buck wild in this game, because the Tennessee Titans haven't been great, in basically any area of the football field. So, and it's funny because I don't know who posted it. Somebody posted it in Discord. They have like the Patriots people. The Patriots people predicting the score, and one of them straight up said that the score was going to be 59-0. I don't know. I think they feel themselves a little bit too much, but that just goes to show you, what people are expecting with this game. Even though that's
the lead, but Drake May has taken the leap though.
He's taking the leap, so I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a blowout, pretty early and often. You just kind of hope that the Patriots push the pace in this one and force the Titans into comeback mode. And, Ward is up to that challenge. Because I have to start Chiggy in spots. I got to start Ayo Manor in spots. Ooh, what you got there?
So our boy, or not, someone who I love their account. I love what they do. Is Fantasy Football Data, and he has Drake May as his 5th quarterback this week in rankings. Take that where as you will. So he's looking at Drake May having a very solid day today. So continue. I would go. Hold on, Gay. I would have to. That last comment caught me off, but it caught me off guard. But feel good about starting Drake May. I think that he will. I think he will have a very solid day. And are we talking about Smitty? Are we
You
talking
thought
about
somebody
kickers? Are we talking about fucking kickers right now? Oh,
you thought what you thought what
I
you
read
thought
that
the
shit.
comment was?
I read
Somebody
that shit. I sound gay. I was like, what? I'm like, we started violence already? Are we starting violence at 8:53 in the morning, my G? Already? But he says go gay
Oh
or Fayborn, and I don't, but I don't, I
yeah,
don't even know what.
you know who
Go
this
ahead.
question is for. This is a question for our guy Chev Doer Sanders, who
I
along
feel
with
you,
Coach
Smitty.
Ratliff, I know I'm screwing his name up. They have a kicker and defense show, and I would recommend it to anybody who has these type of questions. Let me shoot this message to our good friend Chev real quick, and see
And
if I can get a response by the end of the pod. Just hang in there. He'll give me the good answer here
so
because
Matt
I'm
Gay,
nothing if not resourceful.
Matt Gay plays on the Washington Commanders, and then you got Fayborn, who looks like on the Houston Texans. So, you got Houston. The Texans are going against the Seahawks, and then you got Matt Gay against the Dallas Cowboys. I honestly don't feel like the Commanders are going to score a lot of points today, so they're going to need those field goals to even stay in the game. I probably lean towards Matt Gay here against Fayborn. Now, Fayborn is going against a Seattle. Once again, they're going against the Seattle Seahawks defense, who has been really solid as well. I don't see a lot of scoring, or I could be wrong because they also had a damn whole out shootout with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I'll lean towards Matt Gay here. But like Rocco said, our boy Chev does a show on these where they rank the kickers. That's actually, I believe, our first kicker question in 7 weeks. We've been doing the morning rush show. So shout
I'm
out
with
to
it.
you.
I was sure we would get a question sooner or later. So, what are the matchups? We got Fairbairn, Houston Texans.
And then
First is
Matt Gay against the Dallas Cowboys.
yeah. You're gonna have to go. I think you're gonna have to go Matt Gay here because um, the Cowboys. I don't know. The Cowboys might just give up all touchdowns, and you might just get a bunch of extra points. So you might only get, like 8 extra points, 9 extra points.
And yeah, so kickers are very much part of the game, man. And that's no diss against kickers.
No, that was a slide diss against the Cowboys because I said they were going to get 8 extra points.
I completely disregarded that. Let's see. And let's we have. Oh goodness, sorry. The questions are coming in. It's making me click. Mason Taylor or Kyle Pitts PPR. Well, looking at the schedule, the Falcons have the San Francisco 49ers, and then Mason Taylor, a Carolina Panthers. Right now, Justin Fields only has Mason Taylor. I'm going to go Mason Taylor here against over Kyle Pitts. And then looking at some other guys. Well, before we get to the rest of the questions here, and shout out to our boy Addy, who's in the motherfucking building. 2 guys, 1 pod, FF. Wonderful guys with our boy Chef and Addy, great peoples. But I lean towards Mason Taylor over Kyle Pitts here. What do you say, Rocco?
Kyle Pitts is hard to trust. I feel like Taylor's going to get the targets. They might not be efficient targets, but I mean, who the hell else they're going to throw to? Let's go Taylor here. Kyle Kyle Pitts is he's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
And before we get to the rest of the questions, we're going on a quick break as we show our good friends, League Champ. As you could have won a free NFL jersey this week, I think you still might have time to get your rankings in before the game start, which is in 30 minutes. Do your thing and tap into League Champ. But here we go.
Trap is going down.
I swear,
You doing the fish move? You doing fish move?
It makes me want to. So you two, you know what I'm saying? It's what the young kids are doing right now.
I don't know this one. I don't know this one.
Yeah, man, I absolutely love the background music of that, man. It just makes you feel like you're riding down on the east side, listening to some real good shit. You feel me? But that shout out to League Champ, where you're able to win a free NFL jersey by finishing as the #1 ranker of the week. And it's completely free. They charge absolutely nothing. You just have to download the app and get the ranking, baby. Our boy Rocco here has won the past 2 weeks. Our show he did previously, one of them that he won was Puka Nacua. And he also had a Alvin Kamara jersey coming in. Maybe he wins a third week. Maybe y'all can stop him from winning this week. Or not this week. Oh, you still got about 30 minutes. Go ahead and try next week if he wins. And I'm going to try to my damn self get a dub out of this motherfucker. But go ahead and download League Champ. Now, back to, if this thing will let me, Vidal, Pollard, or Chubb, saving you from the kicker question. Vidal, Pollard, or Chubb. I have Chubb starting once again in several places because I have no other choice. Pollard against the New England Patriots. Kamani Vidal against the Indianapolis Colts. And then you got Nick Chubb against the Seattle defense. Seattle just saw Rashard White just whoop that ass. Not even Bucky Irving, Rashard White whooped that ass. And then you have Pollard going against the New England Patriots. You know what? I actually like Kamani Vidal here, as he looks like he's still getting, or will be getting, a good number of touches out of that offense right now until Omarion Hampton comes back. So I probably lean towards Vidal here. How about you, Rocco?
Yeah, I'm gonna ride the hot hand right here, because I don't trust the Titans offense at all. So I'm gonna stay away from Pollard, and I really don't trust Chubb either. I mean, we saw in consecutive weeks. 1 week was a Marks game, and the next week was a Chubb game. I don't think it's necessarily a tough matchup. I think it's more of a mid matchup. But I think in this situation, I'm gonna ride with the hot hand. And it's funny, like, who would have said when we started this year that you would recommend starting Kamani Vidal over Tony Pollard or Nick Chubb, who could be a Hall of Famer, but and he did play a lot better the previous week in his last game. But give me Vidal. Vidal is a big part of that offense, and he's the pass catcher. So if they get down against the Colts, guess what? He's gonna catch some passes in that game.
Coach Drew, Good morning to you. Welcome back to the show, player. Hope you're doing good, my G. He says, "Sup, fellas? With Lamb back in the lineup for Cowboys, should I start Pickens or roll on Booty? Booty versus the Titans defense. He's trying to roll them dice, baby. I'm probably going George Pickens, bro.
Roll on booty.
I'm going on. I'm going George Pickens, dog. And I think too many people are overthinking this one, where they think just because Pickens is back in the lineup, CD Lamb, or just because CD Lamb is back in the lineup, that Pickens is going to just not be a factor. But what I loved about CD Lamb being out, which I didn't love to begin with, but what I took from it, it was a time for Dak Prescott and George Pickens to get more in sync. For Dak to know how George Pickens wants the ball thrown to him, and get more familiar with his game. Now, I think you pair CD Lamb in there, who says he feels great. He could have played last week, but they were just being cautious. You throw that against the Commanders defense that hasn't been looking good. They just got tore up by the Chicago Bears. I think you keep Pickens in there. Booty, booty. Yes, they're going against the Tennessee. I said Tennessee Titty. Oh my goodness. Yes, they're going against the Tennessee. I'm thinking about booty and titty getting me messed up. But
Like I think that team would be so much better if they just renamed themselves the Tennessee Titties.
the Tennessee.
I
Titty,
would support that team.
you know what I'm
Shit.
saying?
When I
Breast
win
cancer
league when I win league champ this week, I would definitely be getting the Tennessee Titties jersey. I don't give a fuck who played. Who the player is.
It's
That's
right
an
on
all
brand.
timer, man. I gotta write that down. Hold up, let me.
Right
Yeah,
on brand for Breast
Tennessee.
Cancer Awareness Month. Respect the titties. If I could put a banner across here, respect the titties. But
I am very much pro Tennessee Titties.
exactly. So I would go Pickens here because I think he's just tearing it up. I don't care that CD Lamb is back. They both have a place where they both tear it up this week. How about you, Rocco? Which way you're going?
Yeah. I mean, Booty was cool last week, but I mean he did it against my Saints, and it's hard to trust any kind of breakouts against the Saints. If you look at the games before he played the Saints, they weren't they weren't anything that was startable. So Booty could keep it rolling against the Titans this week, but they also could get up early and call off the dogs early. So I think everybody eats against the Titans, to be honest with you. So I don't know if any one person, is gonna really, kick ass there. I think Booty will have a nice game, but not over George Pickens. No, not over George Pickens.
Not over George Pickens, for sure. Now, Dylan, good morning to you, player. Hope your morning going well, whether you're watching us in your bedroom, in the living room, or maybe on the toilet, my boy. He says, let's have a day, full PPR, made a trade, moved Swift. How dare you move my dog, man? Go dogs.
Good move.
Move Swift, have A-Chain, Juckins, and JCM for Quentin Johnson. You traded DeAndre Swift for Quentin Johnson? No,
yeah, good move.
I wouldn't do it. But needed wide receiver. Okay, you needed wide receiver help. Okay. I don't think it was a good move, if I'm being quite honest with you. But if you needed wide receiver help, then I can't beat you up for doing what you needed. If you need wide receiver help at this point, fuck it, go get them. And Swift
fans, we just want to tell you we won't beat you up.
Yeah,
from the computer screen.
Exactly. And then with Swift, from last week's game, had very much value. Where people were like, "Oh, he just had a 100-yard rushing game. He had a long reception for a touchdown against the Commanders." So I'm not mad at you for capitalizing on Swift. I'm holding wherever I have DeAndre Swift. Absolutely love his game. But good move in the aspect of needing wide receiver help, yes. Because you capitalized on the value of that week that Swift brought you. Would I have done it? No. Also, one flex: Chubb, Woody Marks, or Golden. It's hard for me to get behind Woody Marks at this point. It seems like ever since D'Amico Ryans was like, "Oh, we're gonna get him more carries or more touches," they very much indeed did not give that man more touches. So I have to ride with Golden here as they are going against the Arizona Cardinals. Will Johnson has been an absolute joy to watch. So I don't know why that man. Okay, I do know why he slipped out the first round because of the injury scare, but he shouldn't have slipped out the first round of how he's been playing. I lean towards Matthew Golden here. What do you say, Rocco?
Um, yeah, it's a lot of moving parts here. Um, I think Quentin Johnson's he's fine. Um, and I guess the question is, does he get back his wide receiver one role after missing a week with the hammy? Sounds like he's ready to get back out there because he doesn't want to lose role. Um, so that's interesting. DeAndre Swift is a great athlete, and Ben Johnson's been scheming him up to kind of take away from his deficiencies. So, um, I think both can be good players rested away. Uh, so good move if you like it. So also flex Nick Chubb, Woody Marks. So you're gonna make a bet on that backfield or Golden. Golden has a good opportunity this week.
Yeah.
The team he's playing is weak against the slot receiver, so that could be the move. Arizona has been weak, basically against a lot of different positions this year. Let's not get it twisted. So it's just so hard to bet on Green Bay receivers because
You don't know.
they just kind of terrorize people with who's gonna pop off in any given week. Oh, sorry. This is actually a tough one. Which way did you go again?
I went Matthew Golden here.
Yeah, if you need max upside, I think I'm going with Matthew Golden, followed by Woody Marks. I think Woody Marks gives you a lot of upside as the pass receiving back in that backfield. But until they kind of clarify, roles there, I think it's going to be a murky mix. So very much murky all the way around. I can make a case for any of them, but I think if I'm going max upside, I'm going Golden. And one QB, Bryce Young, Darnold, or Mac Jones.
Matt Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. See what I'm saying? I'm going Matt Jones there, boy.
I think I'm gonna go with. Oh man, I hate. Darnold's played so much better than the rest of these quarterbacks, so I think I'm inclined to go that way. But if he's gonna get his ass handed to him by any team, it's gonna be Houston, because Houston has really good corners, and they got a really good defensive line. So they could force Darnold into go-seeing this week. But also Matt Jones, his knee has been hanging on by a thread in these last couple games. I think Young is the safe choice here. But he also has like no ceiling in this game. With all that being said, I think I'm going to go with Darnold, but buyer beware on that one.
And then with Sam Darnold's success comes with Jackson Smith-Njigba's production as well. But he also has Stingley this week, who's one of the, if not the best corner in the NFL right now. So it might be a tough matchup for his number one wide receiver to really
absolutely is
break out. So right now I probably would him, and Bryce Young would be like the third of this list of guys you gave. But right with Sam Darnold, I feel like he has the hot hand. He's been doing well for mine, absolutely killing it where I have him. So I can't really trip on that one. Our boy Max is in that house. Yo.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. The third of Fantasy behind the scenes. We appreciate you, brother. We got Mr. Chris Desante. Sorry if I mispronounced your last name, my G. He says JMO or Amika. Man, with Detroit Lions going against the Tampa Bay Bucks, and then you got Amika Ibuka going against the Detroit Lions.
Is
It's
Amika
really
even
comes
playing?
down.
I don't think
I'm
Amika's
telling you,
playing.
exactly like that. It comes down to his health. Is he playing? Is he not playing? Right now, he's another game time decision. If
He's not
and it
playing.
comes on a Monday, so you're taking that risk. If he
Mm-mm.
doesn't play, your options are very, very limited at that point.
Do you have Tez Johnson just in case Mika doesn't play? Do you have a pivot there,
Yeah.
or are you completely fucked if he doesn't play? Because I don't think he's playing at all. I think, according to Jeff Mueller, who's like, one of the best football docs, Twitter docs out there. Him and Ben McCown in our Discord. They're my two go tos.
Dynasty Gambit,
Um,
minus.
Dynasty Gambit, exactly. Go check them out. Um, I don't think. I think what Mueller said was that he believes this is more gamesmanship, um, and even a low severity hamstring would keep Amika out at least for 1 week. See Quentin Johnston, for example. But if it's a higher severity, it's 4 weeks all day. See George Kittle, and um, so I mean, the fact that he didn't go on IR yet, leads me to believe it's the lower severity, unless the Bucks are just being irresponsible. But all that being said, I'm gonna roll with JMO and not take a chance that Amika doesn't play, because I don't believe he's gonna play.
And to that note, Rocco said I also saw something on Twitter where it is more likely that Mike Evans plays more than Amika Ibuka plays in this game, which if you didn't know, Mike Evans is literally coming back from a hammy that kept him out the last 4 weeks. So take that as you will. If you're going to take the risk of starting Amika Ibuka, and at that point you would literally have to choose a wide receiver that's on the Bucks, the Lions, the Texans, or Seattle that happens to be on waivers, then that's a risk that you'll have to be okay with taking. I would go JMO here, even though it's not, as you say, it's very PPR. It sounds like it's PPR. He's not going to be someone who gets you a lot of receptions. He's not going to be somebody who tears it up in that way. You're literally looking for explosion plays from JMO. But at this point, if between those two, you have honestly no choice but to go JMO. Coach Drew, yes, sir. Always great to have you on the show, my guy. Appreciate you always tuning in. Max says Hubbard or Ramondre Stevenson. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. If you go off of projected points, as you honestly shouldn't, but if you do, Ramondre is looking at 11 right now, 11 fantasy points projected for this week. And it seems like the Patriots haven't given up on him. They still want him very much involved, which is messing up everybody's view on how they wanted Hendo and what they saw from Hendo when they drafted him. Honestly, I don't know why you drafted him so high not to play him, but I digress, right? I guess NFL teams are smarter than us, quote, quote. But Chuba or Stevenson, I would go because I don't think Hubbard gets his full workload, but I do think he could get goal line play. I still think he's a better receiving back than Rico Dowdle. Dowdle does more of the check downs, more of the flat stuff, but I think as a receiver, Hubbard gives you a little bit more play there. Carolina Panthers have the New York Jets, while the Patriots go against the Tennessee Titans. I feel good about throwing Ramondre Stevenson in there at the moment. They haven't given up on him. He's still getting touches there. I think, honestly, they might be a little bit more of a tie if you're really looking at their roles. But I'll lean towards Ramondre. Even though he gave people 1 point, I think 1.7 fantasy points, makes you want to throw up a little bit. But shit, Hubbard can almost. I just don't know what to expect from Hubbard, just because they're talking about a balance. And I saw literally quote for quote, the Panthers are studying other teams on how they utilize their two backs that are really good. Take that for what you will. Rocco, what you think?
Man, the Pandas are bullshitting everybody. Rico's getting that workload until he stops producing and stops winning games. So it's gonna be Rico today. Don't listen to that noise. Go with Ramondre. He has the best matchup today for a running back, which is crazy when the Miami Dolphins exist. But yeah, Ramondre is gonna they're gonna rip Tennessee apart, and Ramondre is gonna be a big part of that. So go Ramondre. He can absolutely score two touchdowns.
Ramondre all day. Hold on, Chris. Hold on. I mean, you might not be our first one, but we got a viewer from Europe. Hold up. Hey man, what's good? We tapped in overseas, baby. We're international. We're international, baby. Yeah, I live in Europe, so I'll be going to bed with J-Mo in my lineup just in case. I think Amika will have points, but it's hard to call. Honestly, I don't think Amika even makes it to the field to give you points by G. Yeah, I don't think he makes it there. So, yeah, I think you're better off keeping J-Mo in your lineup. Go to bed nice and sound so you don't wake up to the morning to a 0 ball from Amika Ibuka. We have from Tyler, and if you're here, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning into the show. We also have a free Discord that's in the description of the YouTube description, where you can find us, where we have a great community. You can reach us 24/7. Your trades, your starting sits also there throughout the week, and we have really good guys. So free Discord, you pay nothing. And also, that's where you will find the links to League Champ, whether it's in the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. He asked, Tyler, Dowdle or Travis Etienne? The like we said, the Jacksonville Jaguars have the Los Angeles Rams this week, and then Dowdle has the New York Jets. It's hard to sit Dowdle at this moment, man. He has crazy momentum. He's gone over 150 rushing yards each of the last 2 weeks, 200 all-purpose yards the last 2 weeks. That's a man that you just have to throw in your lineup. I have Rico Dowdle in my lineups as well, just because you just can't sit the man. I lean towards Dowdle here. Not to say Etienne's not having a good season. Honestly, he's having a great bounce back season of what we needed from him. But you ride the hot hand here. You don't sit your. Usually we say you don't sit your studs. I'm not saying Dowdle is a stud, but he's damn near been a stud the last 2 weeks. God damn it. Go ahead with Dowdle. Feel good about it, and you be great. What do you think, Rocco, on that jump between Rico Dowdle and Travis Etienne?
I think this is a better question than I wouldn't say a better question, but I think this is a tougher dichotomy than some of the other start stats that involve Dowdle, which were kind of easy for me. Etienne still has the ability to really eat and make this a bad decision to go with Dowdle, because Etienne has 30-point upside in any given week, because he can pop off long runs, he can get catches, he can score touchdowns. So all that being said, this is the early European game, so you're gonna have to make a decision in the next 9 minutes.
Literally in the next 9 minutes.
The Rams have one of the tougher defenses against the run so far this year, so I'm leaning Dowdle. But just know that Etienne could rip you a new one in roughly about an hour because ETN is a good back, but he hasn't played as well as Dowdle has in the last few weeks. So give me Dowdle in. Oh, fuck. Man, fuck that. Give me ETN.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, it's a good decision or a hard choice to have, but I'm glad we have these guys to make that decision because I feel like either way, you could have a good week from both of these guys. So you're not screwing yourself. Whether you start Dowdle over ETN, I think you'll be good. Whether you start ETN over Dowdle, I still think you'll be good. So feel good about going either way of those. And appreciate you tuning into the show, Tyler. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day, player. We have Andrew Dietz. Good morning to you, player. Hope you're doing well. If you are new to the show, like, share, and subscribe. Ferguson, Vidal. I know autocorrect probably whooped your ass on there. Vital. I know you meant to say Vidal. Or Emmanuel Wilson if Jacob sits in my flex. Right this moment, because Green Bay has a 425 game, so you do have time. And then you have Ferguson. Are you talking about Jake Ferguson? I feel like you're talking about Jake Ferguson or Vidal. If you're talking about Jake Ferguson, who Commanders are having a really tough time on defense, and just to throw out there, Jake Ferguson has been a top 5 tight end in fantasy to start the season, but that's a lot due to target shares being up for grabs since CD has been out. Not to say he still won't continue to be successful, but CD Lamb commands a very high target share percentage. I'm a Cowboys fan, as you know, as you see. I got the Lamb jersey on right now, baby.
No hiding that.
So I probably would go Kamani Vidal right here, right the hot hand. Right, I feel like he is the running back that can be used, a complete running back for them. He's a great passing or receiving back, and he can run the ball between the tackles, or what they still like to do from a hard ball type of offense. Feel good starting Kamani Vidal. Emmanuel Wilson might ultimately end up playing for the Green Bay Packers, but I think we need to hear more. And we just due to and luckily for you, Jake Ferguson or the Dallas Cowboys and Emmanuel Wilson or the Green Bay Packers both play at 425, but the Chargers game starts at 1 o'clock. So if you want to put Kamani Vidal, I believe I take that back. They're at 405. So they're all around relatively the same. So you don't have to make a decision at this very moment. But I would lean towards Kamani Vidal. How about you, Rocco?
This is a tough one because based on the way they played so far, you would say Ferguson, especially if there's any kind of tight end premium. I would say Ferguson, but also, how much of that work is CeeDee Lamb going to absorb this week? They're still going to want to get Pickens involved because he showed he can absolutely be that guy. But Vidal also doesn't have the best matchup. Surprisingly, the Colts have been fairly tough on defense, but they also been scoring a lot of points, which could lead to, a hurry up type of game script. Yeah, I don't trust Emmanuel Wilson because I think if Jacobs doesn't play, they're going to throw Brooks out there. Wilson's going to get some love. They might just go pass heavy. So I don't trust. that spot sit. I think I'm gonna go Vidal. I think he's got the pathway to the most touches today out of those guys, and that's how I'm gonna rock with that one.
And you said full PPR.
Stay on the Vidal train.
And he said full PPR, so I'm definitely on with that.
Let's go.
Yeah, throw Vidal on there. But we have gotten to the end of the show, and we'll go a little bit, I say about 2 more minutes to see if any more starters come in during that time. But this has been a great show. Appreciate everybody who has tuned in, tapped in with us this wonderful day. We're ready to get more wins in this week 7 of the NFL fantasy football season. Rocco, do you have anything for the viewers before we get up out of here, my dude?
Yeah, let's win some games. Hopefully you submitted that league champ lineup so you can possibly beat me, stop me from going on a three-peat of jersey wins. Because I want to share the love with you guys and girls out there. Let y'all get some jerseys because I'm gonna run out of closet space pretty soon.
So yes, tap in to our free Discord, which is in the YouTube description. We have a great community where you can ask questions 24/7 about your trades, but just talk about football in general. And we're growing. So appreciate everybody that has joined the Discord. Find us on Twitter or X, however you call it. Find us on TikTok. We appreciate everyone who has tapped in with us on there as we are growing. And we're almost at 400 actually followers on TikTok. It's been a great development there. Thank you to everybody who has followed us on Blue Sky as of recently. And we got one last one in there. Hold on, we bring you up here, Jacob. Like, share, and subscribe, player. And good morning to you, whether you're viewing us in your bedroom, your living room, or on the toilet. Darnold or Mac Jones, 6-point touchdown. I'll let you go with this one, Rocco.
This is a tough one right here. I think we just had a similar question just a few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
On paper, I'd say Darnold. He's played better, but also keep in mind this is an absolutely dreadful matchup. If anybody's going to slow down Jackson Smith, it's going to be the Houston Texans and their tough cornerbacks that they have there.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones, he's also has a tough matchup. The Atlanta Falcons made life hell for Josh Allen last week, and they could do that. They could absolutely do that to San Francisco this week. Feet to the flame. I think I'm gonna go Mac Jones, but both are tough decisions right there.
Tough guys to go, man. So Sam Darnold, Matt Jones. It seems like his knees hanging on by a chicken wing ligament. No, damn, some chicken wings actually sound pretty good right now. I can't lie to you. That might have to be. Would it be crazy to have chicken wings at 9:30 in the morning? Y'all tell me. But thank you everybody who has tuned in today. Y'all are always great. We appreciate all the comments that come in. Y'all keep having your thing. Our boy Max, they appreciate you, G. Remember, we're your fantasy playbook to more championship wins. And Rocco, where are we? The land of.
We are a fantasy football podcast for Dynasty Sickos by Dynasty Sickos. Thanks for joining us.
And while we go out, stay for this last break as we show League Champ again. Once again, a wonderful app. Absolutely enjoy the love. Addy, great team over there. And get yourself a free NFL jersey if you finish as the number 1 ranker of the week. Until next time, y'all have a good rest of your day.